Our scripture this morning is from Psalms 127 and 128. If God doesn't build the house, the builders only build shacks. If God doesn't guard the city, then the watchman might as well nap. It's useless to rise early and go to bed late and work your worried fingers to the bone. Don't you know he enjoys giving rest to those he loves? Don't you see that children are God's best gift? The fruit of the womb is generous legacy. Like a warrior's fistful of arrows are the children of a vigorous youth. Oh, how blessed are you parents with your quivers full of children. Your enemies don't stand a chance against you. You'll sweep them right off your doorstep. And in 128, all you who fear God, how blessed you are. How happily you walk on his smooth, straight road. You worked hard and deserve all you've got coming. Enjoy the blessing, revel in the goodness. Your wife will bear children as the vine bears grapes. Your household lush as a vineyard. The children around your table as fresh and promising as young olive shoots. Stand in awe of God's blessing. Oh, how he blesses the one who fears God. Enjoy the good life in Jerusalem every day of your life, and enjoy your grandchildren. Peace to Israel.
Psalm 127 and 128. If you have a Bible, I encourage you to go there. Psalm 127 and 128. Now, since I don't hear pages turning, I know nobody's turning. So if everybody turn to page, no, Psalm 127 and 128. Only because I want to point something out that's on the actual written copy that's not going to show up here on the screen. Okay, so at least get one Bible review, 127 and 128. If you don't know where Psalms are at, open the Bible to the middle and you will find one of them. And then just go whichever direction you need to, Psalm 127 and 128. Now we know what the Psalms are, right? Psalms are songs or prayers that are sang or written during the Hebrew time. Okay, this is Old Testament stuff. A lot of them were written by King David. Everybody say David?
David.
And some were written by Solomon. Some people say Solomon.
Solomon.
And so we're going to look at two Psalms today. Two for the price of one. That's right. Buy one, get one free day here at Arch Street Church. Two songs today in one day. And if you're worried that I'm going to go over, don't worry too much, because each of these Psalms is only like 5-6 verses long. So they're not real lengthy. Okay, Betty read the length of them. So I hope that several of you are turned to Psalm 127 and 128. And about these particular Psalms and their surrounding Psalms, if you look right under where it says Psalm 127 or Psalm 128, you'll notice that it calls them a song of ascent. Or it'll call it a pilgrimage psalm or something to that effect. You see where it says that? Yeah? Okay? Now, what a song of ascent is there would be these festivals in Jerusalem. Festivals like the Passover, festivals like Feast of Tabernacles, and different things. And you were required, as a good God-fearing Jew, you were required to make one trip to the temple in Jerusalem every year. No matter where you lived in the nation, you were required to make one trip to the temple in Jerusalem a year. And so men, women, families would load up, everybody has to go, load everybody up, and they would travel, they would walk to Jerusalem. Now, all throughout Scripture, apparently Uncle Fudd is speaking today. All throughout Scripture, it'll say we went up to Jerusalem. We went up to Jerusalem, or we're going up to Jerusalem. And the interesting thing is, it doesn't matter whether you're north, south, east, or west of Jerusalem, you're always going to be going up to Jerusalem. The reason is because Jerusalem is built on a hill. And so, no matter where you come at it, Jerusalem, if you're going to Jerusalem, you're always going to go up, right? Pretty simple stuff. So when it says a song of ascent, it is basically a song that was sung by families as they're traveling up to Jerusalem. Are y'all with me? Okay. So these two songs that we're looking at, several others, these two songs that we're looking at today are road trip songs. Families all gathered up, they've got the camels all loaded down. We don't travel. Anybody travel by camel? Okay, all right. Yeah, I saw somebody got a camel tied up outside. I was just trying to figure out whose that was. Yeah, we don't travel that way anymore. But we have taken road trips. How many people have taken family vacations, road trips? I mean, yeah, most of us, right? We do this all the time, or at least my family does. We take a lot of road trips. When I was little, we took a lot of road trips. Now that I'm married, we take a lot of road trips. Because we live away from family. So every time we have vacation, we try and go see our family. And that's at least 3 hours away. Most of the time, it's further than that when we go to see my wife's family. And so we load up our car with all sorts of stuff. And one of the most important things that we do before we even hit the road, I get on my phone, I make sure we have our music all lined up. Make sure we have all our songs. If there's anything good that's come out recently, we add it to the list. So that when we get ready to go on this road trip, we can just plug in and play away and not have to worry about commercials or anything like that. We just listen to the stuff we want to listen to. Are you in the car with me? You have this feeling of crampedness? Are we there yet? You got that? Okay. Song of Ascent. So the last time we were together, last week, we started a brand new series entitled Me. Everybody say Me. Me. No, I meant you say. Anyway. And we said that we were going to carry through, I don't know what happened there. These are the songs we sang this morning. In case you forgot. Very good songs there. Uh-huh.
Can't sing that.
You're live at Park Street Church. There we go. We carried with it this idea that who we think we are is a reflection of who we think God is. Right? You remember me saying this last week. Who we think we are is a reflection of who we think God is. So if we think that we are beautiful people, then we think that God is a master artist. Right? He's very good at what he does. If we don't find value in ourselves, then we feel like maybe God is neglectful. He's abandoned us. Or he's like he plays favorites. And so, who you think you are is a very direct reflection of who you think God is. And maybe you've never thought about it that way. Today, though, what I want to do is focus in on this idea of home. Everybody say home? Home. Now say it like you've been on a road trip for a long time, a couple weeks, and you get in the door, and it's like 11:30 at night. Home. Yeah. Home is different, right? Home it has this different feel to it. If you're like me, you've been on the road for a long time, when you pull in the driveway, you get everybody unloaded, you walk in the door, you trip over the cat, home, right? And that doesn't actually happen for me until I hit the couch. Home. So we're going to focus on you, on me, taking a close look, a magnifying glass, HD look at who we are, but more specifically, who we are at home, or at least who we should be. And we're going to do that by looking at Psalm 127 and 128. I think you're already there, if I'm not mistaken. So, two things that we should be at home. A worker and a lounger. Amen. Those two seem opposite, right? A worker and a lounger. I don't know if you have the same problem that I have. If I have a weekend that doesn't have anything scheduled on it, I don't know what to do. I don't, like if I'm not supposed to be somewhere, there's no plans, and it's Friday, because that's when my weekend starts, I wake up, well, should I sweep the garage? Should I watch TV? Should I wake up early? I didn't really get a choice in that. should I have this struggle, right? What should I do? And I'm just being honest here, okay? As I've gotten older, I have aged, okay? As I've gotten older, it's harder for me to just sleep in and blow the day away. Like, I used to be able, when I was a kid growing up, I used to be able to sleep in till 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'd wake up and I'd scarf down some breakfast lunch, and then I would just kill time playing video games and whatever. I can't do that anymore. It bothers me. Like, if I don't feel like I'm being productive with my day, you can ask my wife, I get kind of snippy. I have to be able to work. Let's take a look at this. Psalm 127. Everybody with me? Yes. You're loaded up in the car. You're on your way to home. Okay? You're singing those last few songs. This is one of them. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. Now, I don't know about you, it's not really a catchy tune, but they sang it on this road trip. And so, unless the Lord builds a house in vain, or unless the Lord builds a house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. Now, this isn't a psalm against work. That's just, God likes you to work. Work is important, right? And a little bit later today, he's going to mention it. Hey, it's important for you to labor. It's important for you to work. That's hard work is good, right? Right? Yeah. Right. He says, but there's got to be a little bit of balance. In vain, in vain, in vain. Think of it this way. Imagine you're on this road trip, right? Let's say you go out to East Coast, okay? You go out to the beach, East Coast. Nancy, you were just out to South Carolina, right? Okay, let's say we all went on a road trip with Nancy out to South Carolina. Big car. And we're on our way back home, and Nancy says, we're going to go east. Okay, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the United States. South Carolina is on the East Coast. Home here in Mazan is not, right? It's west. So if Nancy says, hey, we're going to go east, you would say she's nuts. That works, right? Nancy, you're going the wrong way. And it doesn't matter how vigorously we try and convince her. Nancy says, we're going east, right? What's going to happen to the car that Nancy's driving if she goes east? It's going to be a little damp, right? A little soggy. It's going to be in vain. It's a wasted trip, right? You're not going to make it. It doesn't work that way. So, building a house, working on a house, tinkering on a house is not a bad thing. Okay? Working at home is good. But are you doing it with God's purpose, His will, His intentions in mind? Or are you doing it just to escape? Are you doing it just to stay busy? What is the heart, the intention, the motive behind our work at home? Financial Peace University starts today at 4 o'clock, Shameless Club. And in that, Dave Ramsey, in one of those lessons, Dave Ramsey talks about home, and he speaks a little bit about home improvement. And he said, and this, I hadn't heard this, I hadn't thought about this before, but he said, you can actually overbuild your house financially. Like, you can overbuild your house. Like, if we built a $7 million home on 47th here in Mazan, and then a year later, we try and sell it, are we going to get $7 million? No. Right? Because that average household isn't worth that much. And so the price is going to dramatically go down. Even though all this work, all this effort, all this stuff, really good stuff, has been put into this home, it's kind of going to be wasted. That's the same thing. You've got to do, I don't know what fell. You've got to do things with God's will, His purpose in mind. Now, I want to touch on this last line real quick. For He grants sleep to those He loves. Anybody have sleep problems? Sleep problems? Yeah. And their names are, and I'm sitting beside them, right? Yeah. He grants sleep to those He loves. Now, for those of you suffering with insomnia or sleep problems, this does not mean that God doesn't love you. Okay, let's just clear that out. If God loved me, He would let me sleep. See, it says it. That's not what this means, right? In fact, this is one instance where the NIV translation isn't real good in the way that they arrange words. Another way to think about this is that God gives His beloved sleep. I mean, God takes care of His beloved even while they sleep. Does that make a little more sense? See, you can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never sleep for about 3 days, and then you crash. In fact, there are several instances of doctors in Japan and in the UK who worked shift after shift after shift for so many days in a row, and they died from overwork. Heart couldn't take it, or they were too far, too long, too hard. They were unable to focus. And so rather than being productive, it was, what's that B word? Vain. Right? Vain. So you gotta sleep, you gotta lounge, you gotta learn to relax every now and then. That's the whole point of Sabbath. And you gotta work hard, right? Too much of either can be dangerous. If you always work 110% all the time, non-stop, engine hitting red the whole time, you're gonna blow up. If you never get out of those pajama pants, you're not going to get much accomplished. All right. Here we go. Who am I at home? Number 2. Everybody still with me? Anybody think I'm nuts? Thank you. All right. Warrior and lover. So who are we at home? We're a worker and a lounger. We also need to be a warrior and a lover. Wait a minute. Again, this seems like it's on opposite ends of the spectrum. But if the first section of Psalm 127, the first 2 verses were about the home itself, the building, the tangible stuff, the last part of Psalm 127, the first part of Psalm 128 is all about family. Everybody say family?
Family.
Family. Here we go. Children are a heritage from the Lord. Offspring, a reward from Him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court. Now, that word heritage up at the top carries with it this idea of a gift from God. An inheritance, a possession passed down from the father to be looked after. That's what children are. A gift from God passed down to us, His managers, to make the most of. Offspring is a reward. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior, children born in one's youth, blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. Now again, this song, we're on our way, right? On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. And we're on our way up to Jerusalem, singing this song. And I gotta feel like Dad is in the car, not mine, just Dad in general. Dad is in the car, he's driving. He's like, all right, you got 35 seconds at the pit stop. Make sure you get out, get all that you need, go to the bathroom. If you need something to drink, do it. By the time I finish filling up, we're out of here. Right? Sometimes dads are like that, right? We just want to get on the road. I'm guilty of this. We just want to get on the road, get to where we're going. Let's go. And in this society, right, it's primarily a male-driven society. And so the dads and the families are often separate, right? It was the dad's responsibility to go off to war. It was the dad's responsibility to go to work and do these types of things. And so this song is a reminder that not only is it important to have family values, but it's important that you recognize that your family has value. And so the psalmist, who is Solomon, writes and he says, hey, your kids are like arrows. Some are sharper than others. Your kids, sorry, I couldn't help it. Your kids are... Good thing when you leave in forgiveness. Your kids are like arrows. He uses words and language that they understand because this is a fighting nation, right? The nation of Israel, they're always in trouble, right? They're always at war with somebody. And so he says, hey, your kids are going to help you in life. They're not a hindrance. They're going to help you. You are blessed because of them. In fact, he says, nobody's going to stand against you when you fully utilize your family. And notice that they're important. Fight with them, protect them, love them, pray for them. Let's continue. He says, blessed are all who fear the Lord, who walk in obedience to Him. Notice this whole thing revolves around the relationship with God. Doing it with the right purpose, the right motive, the right intention. You will eat the fruit of your labor. Blessings and prosperity will be yours. See, hard work is a good thing. You'll reap what you sow. Invest in important things. It says your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house. Your children will be like olive shoots around your table. Yes, this will be the blessing. There's that word again. For the man who fears the Lord. Man, woman, whatever. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with this culture, but olives are very valuable in this part of the world. In fact, if you have an olive orchard, you're growing olives, and you turn that into olive oil, not Popeye's wife, the actual oil. If you turn that into olive oil, you can sell that for a lot. That's the primary cooking oil for this region of the world. And in fact, they would use olive oil for all sorts of things. They would use it for skin treatments and beauty things, and all sorts of stuff. So if you had olives, you were wealthy. And so the psalmist, now in Psalm 128, says, hey, look, your kids are valuable. They're important. They're like olives. For us, it would be like if you had a big storage of oil on your property. Okay, that's valuable stuff. So not only are you working and you're resting and you're fighting for and protecting your family, but you're also loving and cherishing and adoring them. There's balance. Who am I at home? Who are you? Last but not least, wide-eyed and looking ahead. Wide-eyed and looking ahead. My son Parker recently had his eyes checked, annual checkup up at Loyola, and they said we're going to have to put some drops in his eyes so that, they dilate and so we can see what's in there. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody with really dilated eyes, but it's kind of funny. If you've ever been that person with really dilated eyes, not so funny, right? Because you feel like, I can see sounds. Like you feel like you can see everything, and everything is like super sensitive and super bright. And it's important to be wide-eyed, right? to be very aware of what is going on around you. It's important, right? For instance, this last section is going to touch on national issues, right? So it's important, right, if the Senate, the Congress, the local, federal, whatever, if government makes this law that says, now it should be noted that it's now an official law that you shall not wear white during the month of May, or you will face prison time. That's an important law, right? If it were really a law, it would be an important one to pay attention to. Right? I'm not wearing white. Or it's important. It is against the law to drive a vehicle with 4 wheels. Guess we're all going to mopeds, right? I mean, that it would be a law you would want to pay attention to, because how many people want to go to prison? Yeah, that's what I thought, right? So we pay attention to the law. We pay attention to these things that are going on in our world. I mean, it's very simple, right? How many people like to watch the news? How many people watch it anyway? Yeah. How many people read their news feed first thing in the morning? How many people hit Facebook first thing in the morning? Notice my hand's still up. Okay, right? We go to all sorts of things. How many people have coffee and you discuss current events? Yeah, okay, all right. See, no matter what era, what age, what group you're a part of, we all check on what's going on, right? Whether it's with your friends, or whether it's online, or whether it's in the local newspaper, or whatever it is. How many people have ever checked or called around to find out what the weather was going to be like? Yeah. And it affects what we do, right? It's important to be wide-eyed and aware of the world around us. Look at this, Psalm 128, verse 5 and 6. Here we go. May the Lord bless you from Zion. May you see prosperity in Jerusalem all the days of your life. May you live to see your children's children. Peace be on Israel. So I just get this picture, right? The family is all gathered up. The kids are tired, rubbing sleep from their little eyes. Dad's like, come on, we're almost there. Right? Mom's like, be quiet, they're sleeping. Right? And they're on your way up to Jerusalem, and the sun's just coming up after this long car trip. Or not cars, this long road trip. Sun's just coming up, and it peaks over the hill, and you see the outline of Jerusalem. Home. May the Lord bless you from Zion. May you see the prosperity of Jerusalem all the days of your life. It's basically saying, hey, may you be blessed because of the nation you're a part of. May you be blessed because of the nation you're a part of. You know, today is Sunday before Memorial Day, and so we'll gather tomorrow and we'll remember those who have passed, and trumpets will be played, and we'll wave flags, and it'll be a good, somber, solemn, important time. But I just wonder how many of us are wasting the blessings of living in this nation. I mean, even this, right? This. Some loudmouth with a microphone, some people singing some songs, public prayer, gathering together at 9 a.m. in the morning. It's not allowed everywhere. How many of us take it for granted? Even this. Best-selling book, over 6 billion copies sold. Not to mention digitally available. And this isn't allowed everywhere. We have the opportunity to post and say and preach and sing and do all sorts of things. We have the opportunity to talk with people. We have the opportunity to petition our representatives. We have all these freedoms and rights and responsibilities. And I feel like sometimes we go, yay, America is beautiful, but then we don't do anything with this beautiful blessing that we've been given. Right now, there are children being born in countries where their mom and dad's faith isn't allowed. Right now, there are children being born who are going to get one meal today. Right now, there are children being born who aren't going to find out who mom and dad are. Right now, there are children being born who are going to just be dropped off in a box somewhere. Right now, there's a mom who's got several kids, and she's only going to be able to pay the bills by going out with several different men that evening. We are blessed. My question is, what are we doing about it? What are we doing with it? Who are we at home here in the United States? May you live to see your children's children. I can't think that far ahead, because I've just got one. I've only had him for a little while. But the things that I do at home, the decisions I make, the actions I take or don't, have an impact on him, and will have an impact on how he parents, how he lives. What decisions are we making today that are making a better tomorrow for our kids and our grandkids? Peace be on Israel. Sometimes home isn't peaceful. There's fighting and stress and worry and concern and bills coming in and people calling and things falling apart. And home isn't peaceful for everybody. For some, when they say home, it's a groan. How do we fix that? Well, most likely, the reason it's a groan, the reason it's a pain, the reason it's a struggle is because somebody at the home has not thought about some of these things. Has not thought about balancing work and rest. Has not thought about protecting and loving, disciplining and cherishing. Hasn't thought about being aware of what's going on around them or planning ahead so that there wasn't future struggle. If you want to bring peace to your home, if you want to be peace at your home, you have to bring Jesus home. I mean, he's the culmination of all this. Israel's ultimate peace. Israel, the children of God, they've had this struggle ever since the garden, where they chose themselves over what God wanted, over anybody else. They did it in vain, which is the base word of vanity. And the only way that they get peace, the only way that they get true, glorious, heavenly, divine, mansion over the hilltop home is through Jesus. He's the one who brings peace. The one who brings salvation, forgiveness, and freedom, and healing. Yesterday, and the day before, I was down in Ramsey, which is my hometown. And I stayed with my parents. They were having a family reunion. Many people have ever been to a family reunion? Mm-hmm. And we got there. My brother and sister-in-law were there. Some other relatives meandered their way in. And it was one of those things where you can look at that in two different ways, right? You can look at all these people that you thought you had escaped. You can groan and say, they came, they showed up, and they brought their dog over. You can look around at the people around you. You can look at yourself and how you fit into this weird puzzle. Look at all the blessings that God has given you. And take a deep breath and say, home. Home. God, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. Some of us had better ones than others. Some of us had happier ones than others. Some of us had more peaceful ones than others. But no matter what our home is here on earth, we know that our ultimate home with you is one that we will never fear, never groan about, never regret, but we look forward to with eager anticipation. God, we look forward to being home. And until we get there, let us sing these songs and be the type of people who recognize how important it is to be balanced, how important it is to bring the truth, the love, the grace of your Son home. Pray blessing upon all our families, that they would feel your love and presence today. It's in Jesus' name that we pray.